I built her a house. I put everything in her name. I thought that's what love looked like, trust without questions. But the day I handed over that deed, I didn't just lose $500,000. I lost the man I used to be. I'm standing on fresh concrete in Cebu, holding architectural plans that cost me more than my first car. The foundation is perfect, smooth as glass. Lila's beside me, her hand in mine, and she's smiling like I just gave her the world. Maybe I did. It's beautiful, Graham, she says, squeezing my fingers. Our dream is really happening. I look at her, 23 years old, dark hair catching the Philippine sun, and I feel something I haven't felt in years. Young, wanted, alive. It's all for you, I tell her. I mean it. Every word. She kisses my cheek, and I can smell her perfume, something sweet and floral. You're the best man I've ever known, she whispers. I want to believe that. God, I want to believe that so badly. We met 8 months ago on one of those dating apps. I know how that sounds. 62-year-old divorced Marine meets a girl young enough to be his daughter online. But you have to understand, after my ex-wife left, I was drowning. 28 years of marriage, gone because I was too focused on my career, too emotionally distant, too everything she didn't need. I retired, got the pension, had the savings, but I had nothing else, no purpose, no one waiting for me at home. Then Lila's message popped up. Hi, I think you have kind eyes. That's all it took. We talked for 3 months before I flew to Cebu. She laughed at my stories about boot camp, asked about my deployments, wanted to know everything. She never made me feel old. She made me feel like I still had something to offer. When I got off that plane and saw her waiting at arrivals, I knew I was in trouble. The good kind of trouble. The kind that makes you forget you're supposed to be careful. How much did the land cost? She asks now, still holding my hand. 80,000, I say. But it's worth it. Look at this view. The ocean stretches out behind us, blue and endless. She nods, but something flickers across her face. That's a lot of money, Graham. I've got plenty saved, I tell her. Marine pension, plus what I put away. Don't worry about it. She kisses me again, longer this time. I'm not worried. I just want to make sure you're happy. I am happy. For the first time in years, I'm happy. I don't care that the deed has her name on it. Foreign nationals can't own land in the Philippines. Everyone knows that. It's the law. Doesn't mean the house isn't ours. Doesn't mean this life isn't ours. When do we start building? She asks. Next week, I say. Contractor's ready. 6 months and we'll be living here. She leans her head on my shoulder. I can't wait to wake up next to you every morning in our home. Neither can I. That's the thing they don't tell you about loneliness. It makes you stupid. It makes you see what you want to see and ignore everything else. Construction starts, and I move to Cebu full-time. I rent a small condo near the site. Nothing fancy. Just a place to sleep while our real home gets built. Lila stays with me most nights. The first month is perfect. We visit the site every few days, watch the walls go up, pick out tiles and paint colors. She wants everything white and blue, says it reminds her of the ocean. Whatever makes you happy, I tell her. She smiles but doesn't say anything. The bills start coming in. Materials, labor, permits. I expected that. What I didn't expect was how fast the numbers climb. 50,000 here, 30,000 there. The contractor says we need better cement, Lila says one morning over breakfast. The cheap stuff cracks in the heat. How much better? Another 15,000. I write the check. A week later, it's the electrical. 2 weeks after that, plumbing. Every time I ask to see the invoices, Lila gets quiet. You don't trust me? She asks one night. We're lying in bed, the fan spinning overhead. Of course I trust you, I say. I just want to keep track of expenses. Why? You said money wasn't a problem. It's not. I just like to know where it's going. She rolls away from me. My ex-boyfriend used to do that. Question everything. Made me feel like I was stealing from him. I reach for her shoulder. I'm not him, then stop acting like him. I don't bring it up again. But I start noticing other things, small things. Her phone is always face down. When it buzzes, she grabs it fast, takes it to the bathroom or out to the balcony. One night I hear her speaking Cebuano, her voice sharp and angry. I don't speak the language, but I know that tone. When she comes back inside, I ask, "Everything okay?" "Just my cousin," she says. She's dramatic. Sounded intense. "It's nothing." She climbs into bed, turns away from me. I lie there staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out why my gut is telling me something's wrong. 2 weeks later, she needs money for her mother. "She's sick, Graham. Needs medicine." "How much?" "3,000. I transfer it that afternoon. The next week, it's her brother. "School fees," Lila says. "He's studying computer science. If he drops out now, he loses the whole semester." "How much?" 5,000. I send it. A month after that, her cousin needs help with rent. Her aunt needs surgery. Her nephew needs a laptop. Every time I give her the money, she kisses me and tells me I'm generous, that I'm nothing like other foreigners who come here and take but never give. I want to be the good guy. I want to prove my ex-wife wrong, that I can be emotionally available, that I can put someone else's needs first. So I keep giving. The problem is, every time I hand over money, Lila's warm for a day or two, then goes cold again. She stops initiating affection, stops asking about my day, spends hours on her phone, laughing at messages I can't see. "Who are you texting?" I ask one night. "Friends," she says without looking up. "You're always on that thing. You're always asking me questions." Her voice has an edge now. I back off, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm watching something slip away and I don't know how to hold on to it. My ex-wife used to say I was too controlling, that I suffocated her. Maybe she was right. Maybe I'm doing it again. So I stop asking questions. I stop checking the budget. I just keep building the house and hoping that when it's finished, everything will be okay. That's what love is, right? Trust, faith, believing in someone even when your instincts scream at you to run. 6 months into construction, Lila brings up marriage. We're having dinner at a restaurant overlooking the ocean, the same view we'll have from our house. She reaches across the table, takes my hand. "Graham, I've been thinking." "About what?" "Us, our future." I smile. "I think about that all the time." "I want to make it official," she says. "I want to be your wife." My heart jumps. I didn't expect this. I thought about it, sure, but I figured we'd wait until the house was done, until we'd been together longer. "Are you proposing to me?" I ask, trying to make it light. She laughs, but there's something behind it. "I'm saying I love you, and I want the world to know you're mine. I'm already yours, not legally." She squeezes my hand tighter. "If we're married, it makes everything easier. For the visa, for when you want to bring me to Australia. For us." I hesitate, not because I don't want to marry her, but because something about the timing feels off. "We've only been together 8 months, I say carefully. Her face changes. The warmth drains out of it. "I thought you loved me." "I do love you." "Then what's the problem?" She pulls her hand back. "Unless you don't see a future with me." "That's not it." "Then what is it, Graham?" Her voice is rising. People at other tables are starting to look. "Do you think I'm too young? Is that it? You're embarrassed of me?" "No. God, no." "Then why won't you marry me?" She's crying now. Real tears streaming down her face. My chest tightens. I hate seeing her cry. "Because I want to make sure we're doing it for the right reasons," I say. "The right reasons?" She laughs, but it's bitter. "I'm telling you I want to spend my life with you and you think I have the wrong reasons? That's not what I meant." "What did you mean then?" I don't have a good answer. The truth is I'm scared. Scared that if I say yes, I'm locking myself into something I don't fully understand. But I'm more scared of losing her. "Okay," I say. "Okay, let's do it." Her tears stop instantly. "Really? Really? Let's get married." She comes around the table, throws her arms around my neck. "I love you so much, Graham. I promise I'll make you so happy." I believe her. Or maybe I just need to believe her. A week later, I propose properly. with a ring I buy from a jeweler in the city. It's not huge, but it's real. A small diamond on a gold band. She cries when I get down on one knee in our unfinished house. Cement dust everywhere. The smell of fresh paint in the air. Yes, she says. Yes, yes, yes. We get married the following month at a civil office in Cebu. It's a small ceremony. Her family comes, her mother, her younger brother Carlo, and an uncle I've never met before. Her mother smiles but doesn't speak much English. Carlo barely looks at me. The uncle just stares, his expression unreadable. After we sign the papers, Lila kisses me in front of everyone. Now you're stuck with me, she says. I can live with that, I tell her. The reception is at a restaurant, nothing fancy. Her family eats and drinks, talking among themselves in Cebuano. I sit at the head of the table, my new wife beside me, and I feel like a stranger at my own wedding. Nobody asks about my life, my service, my family back home. Nobody seems to care that I just married their daughter, their sister, their niece. Lila is sweet to me in public, holding my hand, kissing my cheek. But when we get back to the condo that night, she goes straight to her phone. Tired? I ask. Exhausted, she says, without looking up. I try to initiate something. It's our wedding night after all. But she moves away. Not tonight, Graham. I have a headache. Okay. I lie in bed next to her, listening to her fingers tap against her screen, and I wonder if this is what marriage is supposed to feel like. Empty. The house is almost done. We've spent $420,000. Most of my savings, gone into concrete and tile and dreams. One night I sit down with my bank statements, trying to make sense of the numbers. Why are you looking at that? Lila asks. She's standing in the doorway, arms crossed. Just checking our finances, I say. You mean checking up on me? That's not what I'm doing. It feels like it. She walks over, looks at the papers spread across the table. You don't trust me. I'm just trying to understand where all the money went. It went into our house, Graham. The house you said you wanted to build. I know. I'm not accusing you of anything. Yes, you are. Her voice is cold now. You think I'm stealing from you, just like everyone else thinks foreigners get used here. I never said that. You don't have to say it. I can see it in your face. She grabs her purse. I'm going to my mother's. Lila, wait. No. I'm tired of this. Tired of defending myself. She leaves. I sit there with my statements, feeling like the bad guy. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm too paranoid, too damaged from my divorce. Maybe I need to let go and just trust her. The next morning I text her an apology. I'm sorry. I love you. Come home. She doesn't respond for 3 hours. When she finally does, it's just one word. Okay. She comes back that night, lets me hold her, but something's shifted. She's there, but she's not there, and I'm too afraid to ask why. The house is finished. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a pool with a mosaic bottom, an ocean view that takes your breath away. It's everything I imagined and more. The contractor hands me the keys and I feel a surge of pride. I built this. Well, I paid for this. Ready to see our home? I ask Lila. She nods, almost shy. We walk through the front door together and I swear I see tears in her eyes. It's perfect, she whispers. You like it? I love it. She walks through every room, running her hands along the walls, the countertops, the windowsills. I follow her, watching her fall in love with the place. In the master bedroom, I start unpacking my things. I take out my military medals, the ones I earned during my years of service, and I look for a place to hang them. What are you doing? Lila asks. I thought I'd put these in the living room, I say. Above the couch, maybe. Why? Because they're important to me, part of my story. She's quiet for a moment. This is our house, Graham, not a museum. I laugh, thinking she's joking. It's just a few medals. It's not about the medals. It's about what they represent. She crosses her arms. This is our fresh start, not your past. Something about her tone stops me. These aren't just my past. They're part of who I am. I know, but this house is about us. Our future. Can't it just be that? I stare at her, trying to understand. Are you seriously asking me not to hang my service medals in my own house? Our house? She corrects. And I'm asking you to think about what I want too. I put the medals back in the box. Fine, I'll keep them in the bedroom. Thank you, she says, but there's no warmth in it. That's when her family starts showing up. First, her brother Carlo. He arrives with 2 suitcases and announces he's staying for a while. Just a week or 2, Lila says, until he finds a job. A week turns into 3. He sleeps in the guest room, uses the pool, eats the food I buy. He doesn't offer to help with anything, doesn't even say thank you. Then her mother comes, along with her aunt and 2 cousins I've never met. Suddenly my house, the house I built, is full of people who treat me like I'm invisible. They speak Cebuano constantly, laugh at jokes I don't understand, use my things without asking. I try to talk to Lila about it. I think your family's getting too comfortable here. They're family, Graham. What do you want me to do? Kick them out? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying maybe they should find their own place. They can't afford it. That's why they're here. That's why they're in my house. The words come out harder than I mean them to. She goes still. Your house? I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. Her eyes are cold. You meant exactly that. This is your house. You paid for it. We're just guests. That's not what I said. It's what you meant. She walks away, and once again I'm left feeling like I'm the one who did something wrong. That night, I can't sleep. I lie in bed listening to her family laughing in the living room, music playing, the pool splashing. I get up, walk through my own house like a stranger. In the kitchen, Carlo's on the phone. He doesn't notice me at first. He's speaking Cebuano, fast and animated. Then I hear it. Ooh, ang foreigner nagbayad sa tanan, tanan na sa iyang ngalan. I don't speak the language, but I know what foreigner means. I pull out my phone, open Google Translate, and slowly piece together what I think I heard. Yeah, the foreigner paid for everything. Everything's in her name. My blood goes cold. I stand there in the dark, phone in hand, while my brother-in-law laughs about how I paid for everything and own nothing. I go back to the bedroom. Lila's asleep, or pretending to be. I lie down beside her, staring at the ceiling. The deed is in her name. The bank account is in her name. Legally, I own nothing. I've spent $500,000 building a house I can't claim, and everyone knows it, everyone except me. I can't stop thinking about what Carlo said. For 3 days I carry it around, this weight in my chest that gets heavier every time I look at Lila. Part of me wants to confront her. Part of me is terrified of what she'll say. On the 4th day, I'm alone in the house. Everyone's gone somewhere, shopping or visiting or whatever they do. I'm sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop, trying to distract myself, when I see Lila's iPad on the counter. She forgot it. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. But I pick it up anyway. It's not locked. Facebook is open. Except it's not the profile I know. The name is different. Lila Marie Santos, not Lila Marie Reyes like she told me. I scroll through the page, photos everywhere. Her with friends, her at parties, her on beaches. And then I see him. A guy, maybe 25, Filipino, good looking. His arm around her. They're kissing. My hands start shaking. I check the date. 3 months ago. We were already together. I scroll further. More photos. 6 months ago. A year ago. Comments from friends underneath. Best couple ever. So happy for you both. When's the wedding? His name is tagged in every photo. Rafael Cruz. I click on his profile. More pictures of them. Recent ones. One from last month. Them at a restaurant. She's wearing the dress I bought her. My chest feels like it's caving in. I can't breathe. I hear the door open. Lila's voice calling out. Graham? I forgot my iPad. I close the tablet, set it down. She walks into the kitchen, sees me sitting there. You okay? She asks. You look pale. Who's Rafael? The words come out flat. Her face doesn't change. What? Rafael Cruz. Who is he? How do you know that name? Your Facebook. The one you didn't tell me about. She blinks. Once. Twice. Then she sits down across from me. He's my ex. Your ex. Yes, the one you're kissing in photos from 3 months ago? Those are old, she says calmly. The dates say 3 months. Facebook does that sometimes. Reposts old memories. There are photos from last month, Lila. She's quiet. I wait. Finally, she sighs. Okay, it's complicated. Complicated. Rafael and I were together before you. When I met you, I tried to end it, but he won't let go. He's obsessed with me. So you're still seeing him? No. She reaches for my hand. I pull away. Graham, I'm not seeing him. He just shows up sometimes. Tries to get me back. I keep telling him no, but he doesn't listen. Why didn't you tell me this? Because I knew you'd react like this. Like you're reacting right now. Like what? Like a husband who just found out his wife has been lying to him? I haven't been lying. You have a whole different Facebook profile, Lila. Photos of you with another man, and you never mentioned any of it. Because it doesn't matter. He's my past. You're my future. She's crying now, but it feels different than before. Less real, more performed. I only love you, Graham. You have to believe me. I want to believe her. God, I want to believe her so badly, but my hands are still shaking, and I can't make them stop. Okay, I say. Okay? She wipes her eyes. Okay? I believe you. I don't believe her. But I say it anyway because the alternative is too painful. She hugs me, tells me she loves me, promises this will never be an issue again. That night, she falls asleep early. I lie next to her, staring at her phone on the nightstand. At 2 a.m, it buzzes. I shouldn't look, but I do. She left it unlocked. Messenger is open. Messages to Rafael. The preview shows Cebuano words I don't understand. I pick up the phone, careful not to wake her. I screenshot every message, send them to myself, then delete the evidence. In the bathroom, I open Google Translate. The first message makes my stomach turn. He's almost out of money. Just a little longer. The next one's worse. He's so stupid. Thinks everything is fine. Another, when the money's gone, we can finally be together. I sit on the edge of the bathtub, phone in my hand, reading words that destroy me. There are dozens of messages, weeks of conversations, her laughing about me, Rafael asking when she's leaving me, her saying soon, saying she just needs to drain what's left. I don't cry, I don't yell. I just sit there, completely hollow. When I come back to bed, Lila rolls over, puts her arm across my chest. Love you, she mumbles in her sleep. I stare at the ceiling until sunrise, those words burning in my brain. He's almost out of money. Just a little longer. I hire a lawyer, Attorney De Leon, recommended by an expat forum online. His office is small, cramped with filing cabinets and law books. He's in his 50s, gray hair, tired eyes. Tell me everything, he says. So I do. The house, the money, the marriage, the other man. When I finish, he leans back in his chair. How much did you spend total? 500,000, give or take. He winces. And the deed? Her name. Bank accounts? Her name. He's quiet for a long moment. Mr. Graham, I'm going to be honest with you. Under Philippine law, foreign nationals cannot own land. You knew this, correct? Yes. Then you understood when you put the property in your wife's name that you have no legal claim to it. I thought because we're married. Marital property laws here are complex. But if the deed is solely in her name, and you're a foreign national, you have very limited recourse. What about an annulment? Possible, but it takes years and costs tens of thousands in legal fees. Even if you win, you won't get the house back. So I just lost everything. I'm afraid so. He slides a folder across the desk. I've seen this before, Mr. Graham, more times than I can count. Foreign men come here, fall in love, build homes, and wake up one day with nothing. What do? You have three options. Stay and fight, which will drain what little savings you have left. Leave and accept the loss. Or try to negotiate with your wife. Negotiate what? She already has everything, perhaps, but she may be willing to give you something to avoid the public shame of an annulment. I take the folder. It's full of legal documents I don't understand. How long have you been doing this? 23 years. Ever see anyone win? He smiles. But it's sad. Define win. I leave his office and drive back to the condo. I haven't been to the house in 3 days. Can't bring myself to go there. When I walk in, Lila's packing a bag. Where are you going? I ask. Manila. Family emergency. What kind of emergency? My aunt is sick. I need to be there. How long? She doesn't look at me. I don't know. A week maybe? Lila. She zips the bag. I have to go, Graham. I'll call you when I get there. We need to talk. Not now. I'm late. She walks past me, out the door, gone. I stand in the empty condo, surrounded by furniture we picked out together, and I know she's not coming back. 2 days later, a message pops up on my phone. It's from a number I don't recognize. I thought you should know. Your wife is at your house with another man. There's a photo attached. Lila and Raphael in the pool, my pool, laughing, his arm around her waist. I get in my car and drive. The whole way there, I'm shaking. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. All I know is I built that house and I'm not going to be locked out of it. I pull up to the gate. There's a new padlock. I don't have the key. I bang on the gate. Lila, open the door. Nothing. I bang harder. I know you're in there. Open the door. A neighbor walks by, stares at me. Sir, please. You're disturbing everyone. This is my house. Sir, my house. I'm screaming now. The neighbor backs away, pulls out his phone. I bang on the gate until my hands hurt. Nobody comes. I sit in my car, parked across the street, watching the house. The lights are on. I can see shadows moving inside. After an hour, I can't take it anymore. I drive back to the condo, and for the first time in 20 years, I cry. Not quiet tears, big, ugly, choking sobs. I cry for the money. I cry for the trust. I cry for the man I was before I met her, and the man I'll never be again. The call comes 3 days later. I'm lying in bed, haven't showered, haven't eaten. The phone rings, unknown number. Hello, Mr. Graham? A woman's voice. This is Pacific Bank. I'm calling about your joint account with Lila Reyes. My heart sinks. What about it? There was a large withdrawal this morning, $30,000. I wanted to verify. I didn't withdraw anything. It was Mrs. Reyes then. How much is left? Papers shuffling. The account is now at 0, sir. I hang up. I call Lila. Straight to voicemail. I call again. Voicemail. I text her. You took the money. All of it. 3 dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. Finally, a message. It's my money too. I earned that money. And I earned it by putting up with you. I stare at the words. By putting up with me. Another message comes through. Don't contact me again, Graham. I've filed a restraining order. If you come near me or the house, I'll call the police. A restraining order? For what? I told them you were abusive, that I'm afraid of you. That's a lie. Is it? You banged on my gate for an hour, screaming. My neighbor has video. My hands are shaking so hard I can barely type. You planned this. All of it. Goodbye, Graham. She blocks my number. I call Attorney De Leon. He answers on the second ring. Mr. Graham. She took everything, emptied the account, filed a restraining order. I'm sorry. What do I do? Nothing. If you violate the restraining order, you'll be arrested. You're foreign. They'll side with her. So that's it? She wins? I'm afraid so. I hang up. I sit in the condo, surrounded by everything we bought together, and I realize I have nowhere to go. The house is hers, The money is gone. I can't go back to Australia with nothing. Can't face my family. Can't face anyone. That night, I get a call from a friend back home. Graham, how's paradise? It's fine. I lie. When are you coming to visit? I want to see this famous house. Maybe next year. Next year? Come on, mate. I could use a vacation. I'm busy right now. Settling in. Fair enough. Hey, you sound tired. Everything okay? Everything's great. Good. Good. Well, take care of yourself. I will. I hang up and I think about telling him the truth. That I'm not okay. That I lost everything. That I'm 62 years old and I have nothing left. But I can't. I can't say it out loud because that makes it real. Instead, I pack a bag. I move to a cheap hotel on the edge of the city. 200 pesos a night. Concrete walls. A fan that barely works. Geckos on the ceiling. I lie on the thin mattress and I think about the house. The pool where I imagined teaching grandchildren to swim someday. The porch where I was going to grow old, watching the sun set over the ocean. The bedroom where I thought I'd wake up next to someone who loved me. All of it. Gone. I think about Lila. Wonder if she's in the house right now. Wonder if Raphael's there with her. Wonder if they're laughing about the stupid foreigner who gave them everything. I pull out my phone. Type out a message. I hope it was worth it. I send it before I can stop myself. The message shows as delivered. Then, read. She doesn't reply. I wait for an hour, then 2. Nothing. I delete her contact, delete the photos, delete everything. But I can't delete the memories. Can't delete the way she looked at me that first day at the airport. Can't delete the feeling of her hand in mine when we stood on that foundation, believing we were building something real. I close my eyes and all I see is concrete and broken dreams. I book a flight back to Australia, one way. It's expensive, uses up what little money I have left from my credit card. I don't tell anyone I'm coming. I just pack what I can carry and leave the rest behind. The furniture, the clothes, the life I thought I was building. At the airport, I sit at the gate and watch families walk by. Couples holding hands, kids running around. Normal people living normal lives. I used to be normal. I used to have a plan. Retire, travel, maybe find someone to share it with. Simple. Now I'm flying home with nothing but a carry-on and a story I'll never tell. The flight is 14 hours. I don't sleep. Just stare out the window at clouds and ocean and think about how fast everything fell apart. 8 months. That's all it took. 8 months to lose $500,000 and whatever dignity I had left. When I land in Brisbane, my brother's at arrivals. I didn't tell him I was coming, but somehow he knew. Graham, he hugs me. I don't hug back. Heard you were coming home. Who told you? Mate, you bought a one-way ticket and closed your overseas account. Word travels. We walk to his car in silence. He doesn't ask about Lila. Doesn't ask about the house. Just drives. You can stay with us, he says finally, just until you figure things out. I'm not staying long. Take all the time you need. I move into his guest room. It's small, barely fits a bed, but it's free, and I can't afford anything else. I sell what's left of my assets. My car, the one I left in storage, some military memorabilia, bits and pieces of a life I used to have. I end up with $60,000. That's all that's left of my retirement savings. $60,000 and a furnished room in my brother's house. At night, I scroll through photos on my phone. I didn't delete all of them. Some stayed in the cloud. Backups I forgot about. Pictures of the house under construction. Lila smiling at the camera. The two of us at dinner, her hand in mine. I look at that man in the photos and I don't recognize him. He's happy, hopeful, stupid. I want to warn him, want to tell him to stop, to see what's coming. But that man doesn't exist anymore. I killed him when I got on that plane. A month after I get back, I see a support group advertised online. Expats scammed abroad. It's at a community center in the suburbs. I almost don't go. But I'm lonely and I have nothing else to do. There are 12 people there, all men, all over 50. We sit in a circle like it's AA, And one by one they tell their stories. Gary lost $200,000 in Thailand, built a bar with his girlfriend. She disappeared with the money and the deed. Paul lost $300,000 in Vietnam, bought land, built a resort. His wife divorced him and kept everything. Miguel lost $400,000 in the Philippines. Same story, different woman. When it's my turn, I can't speak. Just sit there, throat tight, eyes burning. It's okay, the facilitator says. She's a woman in her 60s, kind eyes. You don't have to share if you're not ready. I lost $500,000, I finally say. Built a house, put it in her name, married her, found out she had a boyfriend the whole time. Nobody looks shocked. They all just nod. How long did it take? Gary asks. 8 months. Fast, Paul says. Mine took 2 years. We laugh. It's bitter and dark and it doesn't make anything better, but at least we're laughing. After the meeting, Gary walks out with me. First time's the hardest, he says. Does it get easier? No, but you learn to live with it. I don't know if I can. You will, because you don't have a choice. He pats my shoulder and walks away. I get in my car and I sit there for a long time, watching people come and go from the community center. Normal people with normal problems. I used to be one of them. Now I'm the guy who got scammed, the idiot who fell for a girl 40 years younger. The cautionary tale people tell at parties. 6 months pass. I get a small apartment, 1 bedroom, nothing fancy. I work part-time at a hardware store, stocking shelves. It's humiliating. I used to lead Marines. Now I'm helping teenagers find the right size screws. But it pays the bills, barely. One night, my phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. I almost delete it, but I open it anyway. Graham, it's Lila. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I stare at the words for a long time. Part of me wants to respond, wants to yell, to tell her what she did to me. Part of me wants to ask if any of it was real, but I don't do either. I just delete the message, block the number, and put my phone away. She doesn't get to apologize, doesn't get to ease her guilt. She made her choice. I made mine. Now, we both have to live with it. I'm sitting on my balcony. It's not much of a view, just other apartments and a parking lot. But the sun's setting and the light's nice, and for a moment I can breathe. I don't think about Lila every day anymore. Some days I go hours without remembering. But she's always there, in the back of my mind, a ghost I can't shake. I don't hate her. That's the thing people don't understand. I don't hate her. I hate myself. Hate that I ignored every red flag. Hate that I was so desperate for love I walked straight into a trap. Hate that I convinced myself a 23-year-old girl could actually love a 62-year-old man. I was lonely. That's the truth of it. I was lonely and I wanted to matter to someone. She saw that, used it, and I let her. My ex-wife calls sometimes. We're not close, but we're not enemies. I heard what happened, she says one night. News travels fast. I'm sorry, Graham. Don't be. I am. Nobody deserves that. I was stupid. You were human. She's quiet for a moment. For what it's worth, I don't think it was about you. I think you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person. Maybe. Come by sometime. The kids ask about you. I will. I don't go. Can't face them. Can't face the questions or the pity. I join the support group every week. It becomes routine. Monday nights at 7. We share stories, give advice, remind each other we're not alone. It doesn't fix anything, but it helps. One night, a new guy shows up, fresh off the plane from Cambodia, lost everything to a woman he met online. He's crying, angry, broken. I see myself in him, who I was 6 months ago. It gets better, I tell him after the meeting. When? I don't know, but it does. He doesn't believe me. I didn't believe Gary either when he said it, but it's true. The pain dulls. The anger fades. The shame becomes something you carry instead of something that crushes you. I'm not the same man I was before Lila. I'll never be that man again. He was naive, trusting, desperate to believe in love. This man, the one I am now, is careful, guarded, scarred. but he's surviving. And some days, that's enough. I think about the house sometimes. Wonder if she's still there. Wonder if Raphael moved in. Wonder if they ever think about me. Probably not. I was just a means to an end. A wallet with a heartbeat. But I'm not just that. I'm a man who served his country, who raised kids, who loved and lost and got back up again. I'm more than the worst thing that happened to me. I have to be, because if I'm not, then she took more than my money. She took everything. And I can't let that be true. It's been a year now. I still work at the hardware store, still live in my small apartment, still go to group on Monday nights. It's not the life I imagined, but it's mine, and nobody can take it from me. One afternoon, I'm organizing inventory when my phone buzzes. Another unknown number, another message. I almost don't open it, but curiosity wins. Hi Graham, it's Lila. Can we talk? I stare at the message. My thumb hovers over the reply button. There's so much I could say, so much I want to ask, but I don't type anything. I just close the message. Delete it, block the number. She doesn't get closure, doesn't get forgiveness, doesn't get anything from me. I've given her enough. That night, I sit on my balcony with a beer and watch the sun go down. The sky's pink and orange, beautiful in a simple way. I think about how far I've fallen, from a house with an ocean view to a balcony overlooking a parking lot, from $500,000 in savings to barely making rent. But I'm still here, still breathing, still fighting. And maybe that's the point. Maybe survival is the victory. Maybe living through it and coming out the other side, scarred but standing, is enough. I don't feel young anymore. Don't feel like I have something to prove. I just feel like me. Older, wiser, broken in places that'll never fully heal, but still me. The sun dips below the horizon. The sky goes dark. I finish my beer and go inside. Tomorrow I'll wake up and go to work. I'll stock shelves and help customers and collect my paycheck. I'll come home to my small apartment and make dinner for one, and I'll be okay with it, because this life, as small as it is, belongs to me. Nobody can take it. Nobody can use it. It's mine. And maybe that's all I ever really needed.